TNC's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. TNC's turn to pick.
Slaughter.
Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to the Boston Major Southeast Asian Qualifiers. I'm Lyrical, going to be joined as well by Nahaz yet again, and we just saw a kind of ridiculous game. For anybody that didn't happen to check it out, RRQ facing off against Fire Dragoon. We won't talk about it, but if you have some time, go find it and check it out. It's worth it.
And just embrace the chaos, man. I'm telling you, Warlock's a hero. This is a hero, not just in SEA. It's getting a lot of looks across all 4 regions. Good as a support, good as a mid. We've seen it probably a little bit more in the support position in SEA, especially with Nuts playing just an excellent support Warlock. But on the other side, we've also seen quite a bit of Ogre Magi in the first phase tonight. A lot of teams taking their cues from DC at TI6, just using this hero as a laning phase bully.
No, definitely, and one of the ways that I feel like I've seen it most effectively is with Team Faceless in particular, to secure an off lane and then go out afterwards, stack up some camps, help out securing the mid lane and maybe finding a rotation somewhere else. But it's always just feels like he can make so much different things happen. The Lifestealer also kind of an interesting little dynamic there as well. You've got usually taken with the Slardar, so since we did have the Slardar first pick, Mineski opt to take that combination away from TNC. Another quick little thing that we can mention, TNC and Mineski have a little bit of a history together. There's a lot of different players that have played for various regions. I think probably most famous was Cuckoo, who there was even like some talk about legal action being done because of contracts being broken. But
the T and Cuckoo, I believe both have been involved in some back and forth. But I know one of them was the reason that TNC had to go through open qualifiers last year for the Manila Major, and that was a big deal. But this is TNC, obviously only 2 players I believe left from the TI6 roster, but certainly they've picked back up Teehee. They've got Sam H. This is a good team. Mineski, I really, this is a team with serious potential. We've seen what Raging Potato can do on his Mirana. We've seen what he can do on these just explosive mid kind of heroes. And of course, Miracle, this guy's just good. And he's one of those guys I am so thankful that he has finished with his military service and playing Dota again, because that's what this kid should be doing with his life.
Absolutely. He's a great player. I mean, not revitalized. I would say like energizes.
He's like the only player that I see him pick Naga and I get excited.
Right. Well, and
maybe KP.
He energizes, I felt like, that entire scene, not just his team, but whenever you see people talk about him, it's just with this sort of reverence that gets displayed for other sports icons. And I mean, he's, Tony Hawk or Michael Jordan. You start talking about those players that just revitalized an entire section of the world.
And when you talk about, just the fans that are in SEA, I mean, that I still get chills when I think about that Manila Major. I was just absolutely off the hook. I have never, we were watching games down in the talent lounge, and you could always tell when something happened because the floor shook.
Oh.
It was just crazy. So interesting bans here by TNC. I really like these second phase bans. They're going to say, okay, fine, we don't want to deal with these envious heroes, the sort of roaming and harass potential out of Mineski. Again, you get the sense that both teams have done their homework here, are anticipating the opponent. An OD third pick again. You know, this is what we saw in the last game, and it worked.
The hero just feels incredibly strong to me, and of course the big thing that everybody talks about, and I think it is worth talking about, is the astral and being able to save your other cores, which is something that no other core really is capable of doing in that dramatic of a fashion. One other thing that I will mention real briefly, one little last piece of history added to this as well. Scant, who's now the coach of Mineski, he also was like very much on the TNC Pro Team train. He's always talking about this team, so there's some background knowledge where he does really know that team inside and out, and knows a lot around the T-He drafts as well.
He knows the region as well as anybody alive. And I mean, we got into a well-publicized spat on Twitter not that long ago, but this guy, he knows his Dota and he knows his SEA Dota about as well as anybody. But I also got to give Gareth, I guess I can't say Turka anymore, credit, because he's been on the TNC bandwagon for a long time as well. I love this Ursa pickup. I just feel like the hero gets so much value. He can be, I think you got to have at least one hero on your team that can be behind in farm and still do its job. And that's really rare to see at the 1 position. Ursa brings that. Like, he can be a little behind in farm and he can still do Roche. He can still kill enemy heroes. We've seen a few months ago, even before TI6, we've seen like these unconventional Artur mid Ursas where you spam salves.
Right.
And the hero's a lot more flexible than I think we had realized a few months ago.
Definitely. And I kind of like him as a response to Axe as well.
I think that can go either way.
Right, no, definitely. And that's the thing, is that if you find like either A, spins in the right time as you're ultied, or B, if you find an instance to blow him up when there are a lot of creeps around, it goes both ways, definitely. But I think that Axe is one of the strongest heroes right now. He has been for a while, ever since it's been a lot about just like constant initiation, but also on the dire side, if you actually jungle completely perfectly with Iron Talon, you can get level 6 by 3 minutes and 45 seconds. And that's regardless of whatever creeps that you get. Now, the interesting thing, too, is that he's strong enough laner and enough of a bully that you sometimes would rather take him into lane, regardless of the fact that you can get that level of farm that quickly. So it kind of blows my mind how good this hero is.
But it really is a nice option to have, especially depending on the laning configuration. If you see that Ogre Magi that's just going to be able to push around the lane, you have that fallback option, and that's a really big deal.
Definitely. Well, the Lion was another one that you sort of gasped at slightly when it got picked, I believe. A little bit of a different type of hero, but fallen off, but still strong.
Lion still has a lot of value here. You still had enough picks left over for Mineski to make the Lion's life hard. You're picking Lion into a lifestealer. It just felt, it felt a little bit weird to me to see that picked in the 3rd position.
Well, one final pick for each team. With Ricky and Bounty Hunter bound out, we're not going to be seeing that combination coming out with the Lifestealer, but TNC Pro Team, is there anything that, the mid against OD, it's kind of tough to tell. Invoker is still in the pool if they wanted to run that.
I like Storm kind of, although that's not, again, it's not a favorable laning matchup, but I still think, you kind of mentioned the Ricky, if there's one thing that we learned from seeing Liquid have so much success, you really want that secondary initiator here with the Ursa. And I guess you can argue that Lion can be that, but you're not going to get a Blink Dagger on Lion in this game until 25 minutes.
There's a potential here that if they do stick X in the jungle and Ogre roams, Lion can pull consistently, but I would agree that it's not going to be as quick as
Mineski had the same issue too, though.
Yeah.
Like they need a secondary. I thought of Liquid with TNC. I'm thinking of Liquid again with Mineski, although unfortunately Liquid's not been so good recently. But you need a secondary vehicle for the Lifestealer too.
Yeah.
Right. You've got Axe right now to hold the Lifestealer, but nobody else on Mineski's side really can do that.
I will say, though, that I feel like I like Mineski's draft as it stands right now a little bit better. They're going to take a sniper last pick.
Okay.
I feel you like take Spirit Breaker now. I don't even care. I maybe not, because they have a lot of different ways to interrupt
It's
it.
actually, you know what? It's actually a pretty darn good pick against OD in the mid lane now, because with your range, he's not going to really be able to astral you past level 1, and he's going to have a hard time with the base damage nerf out CSing you now. Like that's not a bad pick against OD now.
No, definitely. I think that he was originally considered one of the OD counters, and it's part of the reason why you
Does
see...
sniper counter anything?
I mean, if you're ho-ho-ha-ha, it all works, but a last pick Venomancer, that was not on my thought process at all.
It kind of fits because they have just a lot of heroes that are going to be squishy now, but boy...
I don't like it.
No, I don't. No, I know. You know what? I'm gonna cut myself off right there, because I was gonna try to tell a story where the Veno was good, but this Veno is just gonna have. I think he's gonna have a hard time getting into fights.
I feel like there has to be something
Like,
that we're
what's
missing in this instance.
Well,
the reason to take it.
No, the big thing that we're missing is they're thinking, okay, Jules is just gonna drop the 5-man rock, or you're gonna get this ridiculous axe initiation, and that's gonna get everybody else into the fight. But you really only have one vehicle to deliver the lifestealer into the fight, and that's Axe, and he needs a blink in order to do that. Axe, this TNC team can actually bully Axe a little bit in lane. Like this is a good draft by TNC. I really like this.
I would agree. I think one other thing that I didn't mention that might be worth talking about too, Fatal Bonds, if you get it off, is going to do a lot in this fight with the Venomancer.
That's clearly like that's clearly kind of what they're going. But again, you have to ask yourself, you have to get into position to use those spells. And so Warlock getting in position to use Fatal Bonds is like fine. That's the easiest thing in the world. But then Venomancer is somehow going to get himself into the fight to use his Nova, and he's probably going to be underleveled anyway. I don't know.
Well, and more so than that too, the other issue is that you also TNC has to be in a position where you can even find the way to get there. Like if they are spread out, which you might be with a sniper in the draft, spreading the angles, and Slardar is going to be very mobile as well.
Yeah.
They might not even be in a position where you can find those initiations. It's going to be a tough one. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility, but it might be tough.
I mean, look, Lumi made the point earlier on the panel about Earth Spirit and Warlock, that you get that magnetized Fatal Bonds combo off, and you can just have 2 supports killing the whole enemy team.
Right.
And Poison Nova Fatal Bonds can absolutely work in the same way. The problem is I just look at TNC, and TNC has more ways to initiate fights.
Yeah.
And when you're the Wombo combo team, you generally want to have the initiation advantage.
Right. Long cooldowns paired together with the axe is nice, because it means you can drop the rock, or you can just go for a call.
But so much in this game is down to Axe's blink dagger timing.
Yeah.
Like if Axe gets his blink dagger faster than Slardar, you're really happy, and you can do a lot of stuff. If Slardar gets his blink online before Axe, and God forbid like Lion gets his, you're not happy.
Also, of course, the relatively long cast point on a Berserker's Call might play into this as well with that instant cast on the Hex. But we'll have to see where it goes. Slardar starting off. Sam H going to try and pull the creep wave past Mr. Axe himself, and it looks like we're going to be getting a one-on-one in this top lane, which it doesn't feel like it's going to favor Slardar in the least bit.
Huh. Interesting dire side top. I like the Radiant. I like the dire ward in the Radiant jungle here a lot. I'm not as sure, although this ward position is becoming more and more standard, but I'm not as sure about it in this game.
Well, we'll have to see how it goes. Want to take advantage of those early levels, certainly, for Miracle. Is going to get a couple of CS there and pull the creep wave past towards him, but top lane or bottom lane is where I imagine a lot of this action is going to be taking place. How do you see this one working out? Is there one team that you're kind of feeling like will be able to get more done in this bottom lane?
I think these are both pretty darn strong lanes, although I worry about if there's that the Veno and the Lion are kind of the weak links. Like whichever of those 2 heroes gets out of position first, I feel like that team loses the lane.
Okay.
But Veno's got poison. Okay, he's got Gale at level 1, which you expect.
Going on to the Ursa.
There's the Gale possibly paying for itself. And the Shadow Word used offensively. They're really underestimating the damage output. That's a nice first blood by Mineski.
Yeah, well done, Jules, making it happen. The DOT, and man, it's a huge damage nuke. 15 damage per second over 12-second duration. Ain't nothing to sneeze at, and it's gonna feel like it probably keeps on happening in that way.
You know, all of a sudden you offset the fact that nice long slows at low damage from the level 1 Gale.
He'll back up, but he's gonna go
give
down.
it right back. Oh
now,
man, that hurts.
Well, NB trying to walk away as well. They do have Warlock surrounded. Should be able to block off his path going further.
Warlock?
Tries to tango through, but not gonna end up happening. And no mana for Gale here, as he is going to be able to. Nope,
No.
die.
No. Yeah, you're a Warlock, dude. You're not an ogre. You can't do that.
Well, a rough life indeed. Wanting to save his life stealer, but did not end up working out, and so they lose 2.
Oh, look at the OD taking her ass to the sniper mid here, though.
I mean, it's a rough life.
Pretty evenly though. And he's still gonna get the arcane rune.
Well, Tango's still there. He turned back around, wanted to astral.
Nope.
But not gonna end up working.
Yeah, cast range is like 3. All right. So pretty even in the lanes, I'd say. That it still felt like Mineski failed to capitalize on that early advantage they got from the first blood.
Yeah, you take a look at the laning stage so far, it still seems really even. I think that the idea here is just because TNC has access to this jungle, they're going to... Oh, wait, did that not actually attack? So he doesn't aggro the creeps. Really unfortunate, so they won't be able to deny it out.
That was really odd.
All right. Well, 2-1 so far, 3 kills, and it's looking like I think TNC get a little bit better of the initial part of the laning stage. They're going to be able to, on Mineski, get the pull, and this is where things start to get messy, and there's a chance for a kill if they're able to drag the Radiant creep over, but they aren't, and this is a lot of free experience for Agent Potato.
Yeah, also really important, just as a side note, that Axe trading evenly with Slardar is advantage Mineski because they have so much invested in that Axe blink dagger timing.
And mid lane is really the story of the match, at least somewhat. Is
Sniper pulling out? Yeah, Sniper pulling ahead, and again, that's all about now that he's got at least 1 level in take aim, maybe getting another one. That OD is going to have a real problem getting in range to Astral him at all.
Hex, Raging Potato, bottom. He's going to end up going onto him, but not enough damage. And now with the Fatal Bond spread out around, they need to be a little bit careful as Leno is going to drop. They find that kill.
Way down there, buddy.
Well, the thing that's interesting about this is he does do a ton of damage with the Fatal Bonds, and his right click's fairly significant. He's dropping him low. Shadow Ward just barely out of range. That might have killed Teehee. That was close.
Yeah, Warlock. I mean,
oh god, mid lane
bully now.
Miracle.
Oh.
Jane chased down. They've got the right click, self astral, keeping him alive, but just barely gonna miss cast.
And look who he's got in the background. This is gonna be a kill on the Veno too.
Nicely played. The right clicks are there. Lion dies down in the bottom lane. But in the meantime, they're able to find another, and Cuckoo able to walk away from it. Sniper man, ho ho ha ha indeed.
Hey guys, Sniper counters something. Except not. Oh, nice body block. Oh, it's so nice.
Raging Potato. Unfortunate. Doesn't make the play he needs to, and they aren't going to be able to get it. So, kind of a little bit of a cluster. Mineski's struggling, but we still do have the Axe to fall back on.
Axe has 28 CS. That's so big for them.
I agree, but again, it's like it's only if Axe goes crazy at that point. Like it's still not guaranteed even if he gets a good blink timing.
I don't know, man. See, all of a sudden they've got damage. Like they've got damage and they've got damage from range, right? They just need to be able to start a fight. They need to be able to get Lifestealer in there.
Oh, well, Sam H gets the crush and runs away. And it looks like Axe is actually going to be going back for Vanguard as well. So wants to try and accelerate that. This has been the play more often than not.
I know. Everybody likes their Vanguards now on Axe to play greedy, but I want to see fights, man. I don't want to see Axe sitting there farming creep stacks.
Yeah. Well, they get the Raging Potato Hex down in the bottom lane, but he's just going to walk it off. The other thing that would be nice if they got some of those Ancient stacks, because that's one of the ways where you can get like Axe, Vanguard, and Blink by like 15 minutes, and then it just goes insane.
Was never yours.
I guess the idea being, Warlock's only level 4, OD doesn't get his
Axe is actually going to die though.
Oh boy, oh no. Well, there went all that.
Yeah.
No need to make that point. I was like, well, I guess with the level timing, it could be okay if he goes Vanguard first. No. Nope.
I think, though, that it does still harken back to a bit of an issue that sometimes when Axe, you run into an issue where you jump in, you blink, you call, but you still end up dying. And if you get the Vanguard and the blink up in time, he might not have to worry as much about Ursa. It's still going to be a problem.
Yeah, but
it's tough.
The single biggest, to me, again, the single biggest thing is they need blink on Axe to really get in and start these fights on their own terms.
Yeah. Well, level 7 now for himself as well as the starter. They've traded relatively evenly, and off to the side, the Ogre wraparound. This might just be a kill if they're not careful, and Fire Blast to start it off. There's the crush. A hell of a lot of damage, but they need to be careful. He still does a good bit, and the jump back in, trying to find that crush, slowed by the Gale.
Yeah, really
Sprint
nice
as well as Bloodlust, trying to catch him. Instead, they have to settle for that Venomancer, and oh, what are you doing? He wanted to dunk. He's not going to get the kill onto the Storm H as he does take down the Ogre, and well, turn around, might actually get him. No, not gonna happen. Sam H finds it,
and that's like such a big win. Axe dying back to back there.
Ooh, Warlock got Fatal Bonds kills on the Lion.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're about almost 8 minutes into it, and it. Does the fact that Axe is going for the Vanguard build change? Well, he actually might not be. He's got,
yeah.
Does it change the way that you see this game going?
Well, before he died twice, it could have been really good, but that's the risk that you take, right? Now you're wondering about that item.
Mm-hmm.
Because all of a sudden, if you have that item at like 6 minutes and you're farming jungle and lane with it, you're getting huge value.
Right.
Now it really is, the onus is on his teammate to make a little bit of space and get him to farm his blink. Because if you can blink, call, infest with the rock behind it, and they have to respect the poison of as well, that's super scary.
Oh, Miracle gonna get ran down. Teehee is there. Hex comes out. They've got the assassinate. Raw Fire Blast as well, and they do get the kill. Axe trying to turn around, gets Cuckoo, and needs one more spin to make it work. Isn't gonna happen. Axe trying to run down Cuckoo, but can't get him. Bottom lane. Turn on to the Ursa. He, well, infests a creep, but has to jump out and run away.
Yeah. And that's I think, again, just because of the item build, you're gonna see that happen to Axe a lot. Like, he's gonna spend a lot of time running back and forth and getting mini bashed. I guess it's a mini slow now by Sniper.
No. Oh god, what a time that was.
Oh yeah.
The mini bash.
Yeah, that wasn't tilting at all.
Oh, Warlock.
You have Fatal Bonds on you. That
in
hurts.
the jungle?
That still hurts. Yeah.
Cast is going to find him, and they do get the kill, but a little unfortunate that the Fatal Bonds ends up taking him down. So Warlock from beyond the grave. Meanwhile, Cast trying to TP out. Do they have enough damage? No. He gets away.
Okay. Can they turn this into a tower?
Do you feel like one team is more comfortable with the state of the game as it's turned out so far?
I think both teams are basically getting what they want. Again, though, the issue is going to be that Slara is going to have that blink in like 200 gold.
Yeah. And do you think they can start making moves around the map, or do you think that it needs to be like a more concerted effort towards shutting down a particular hero?
Nah, well, obviously you'd love to be able to continue to put pressure on the Axe and the OD, but Lifestealer is building toward his armlet. Doesn't have that done yet. You're looking at they've got a lot of different moves that they can make around the map, does TNC, and Mineski is very limited in their options to start fights right now.
Yeah. And I mean, as far as what we're seeing so far, it's only a 1,500 gold lead and right around 500 experience, but like you're saying and alluding to, the issue is going to be what happens in these next couple of minutes, and TNC now poised to move out with the Slardar blink.
Yeah, that's going to be, if they can take a really good fight behind this Slardar blink. I mean, the Slardar blink should be probably, if they play it right, worth a couple of tier 1s right here.
They did just spot it though, heading by that ward. Mineski did, so they won't be caught off guard with it. Oh,
yeah, their vision games were pretty good.
Look at the Venomancer down here bottom. What a butthead. All of those wards laid out. That's frustrating.
That's okay. You're still applying pressure mid, which is where you really want to be.
Yeah. Oh, Dire scans, wants to make sure that nobody is over here. Little does he realize they're
Like,
up on the top side.
I'm telling you, man, this is not something that you saw even a year and a half ago in SEA. You just didn't see both teams doing their homework on the opponents with sensible bans. They have good ward positioning throughout most of the game. Like, the level of play in this region has just elevated so much.
Mm-hmm. And the consistency amongst the top teams. The fact that you do kind of have the gatekeeper lineup where some of the top teams aren't getting beaten randomly by a bunch of, the other ones. It's consistent results.
Well, that still is my gripe. That I'd like to see a little bit more of that consistency, but I'm just talking about the quality of play and the strategic preparation and decision making has been just so much better. It's really cool to see because again, the issue has never been talent.
Well, bottom lane, Axe only a couple hundred gold away from his blink after taking that 3 stack of Ancients.
And again, they spotted out the Slara blink early on. TNC has not been able to make anything happen with their blink timing advantage. Ooh. And that's so huge for Mineski.
Oh, do they realize that Jules is over here? I don't know if they do. Cuckoo is going to TP bottom because it looks like a fight's a brewing, and they want to try and find the Axe before he gets his blink. That's the Ursa wrapping around. Finger of Death comes out as well. He's dropped low. Vanguard, everything but the turnaround. That's the Golem, and, well, they do get the blink jump, and still in some trouble. Assassinate. Oh, 2 already caught. My God, what a hero. The Ignite's going to throw it onto several. Raging Potato maybe in a little bit of trouble as well. Can they get the headshots they need? Another blink crunch. That's OD gone. Sam H trying to run away, but is it going to be able to escape? It looks like he turns around and now
they're going to kill him.
Shot. Raging Potato, you're in some trouble, buddy. All right, they get up inside a creep.
Oh, just kill the creep wave. Kill the creep wave.
Oh.
Yeah, they have to be careful because that's enough damage to kill the Slaughter if he pops out.
Yeah, and we'll see if he decides to head out. They're going to kill off the ranged one first, realize that the inside the melee, and try and pull it past. I just jump out and run away.
Or
they might want to fight. They have everybody back up soon.
I think both sides are just gonna. Okay, that's enough, guys.
Well, a pretty huge lead built there by TNC, around 3,000 gold swing into their favor, and looking pretty good.
Interesting. I love that mind game though that you're trying to force the lifestealer to take control of the creep early. That's cool.
Wow. And unfortunately, for the side of TNC, they don't take the tower. Not feeling comfortable sticking around long enough.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, obviously the 4 hero kills is a really good thing to get, but that you're supposed to be able to turn that early blink on Slaughter into 2 tier 1s, and they're only going to get 1.
Mm-hmm. Well, it might end up happening here shortly, but they do have a long cooldown now. Finger of Death still offline, and it is going to come up around the same time that Warlock ulti will as well, so they should be able to contest each other. But it looks like mid lane again. Cuckoo wanting to get aggressive, and we'll see if they can make something happen here.
Yeah. This is just what I like the fact that with TNC that they're probably going to be a little behind. Oh, they're a bit ahead on the net worth, but they've really got the items that their heroes need to be effective through the mid game.
Definitely.
Whereas Mineski they do Axe now with his freshly finished off Blink Dagger. They're going to see if they can try and make something happen here. TNC taking a big risk here by possibly committing to the Roshan. This is a pretty telegraphed Rosh attempt.
Oh, the pings come out.
They
don't realize that the rest of the side of TNC is in there, but they're going to drop a ward immediately.
That's not going to fool anybody, guys.
Well, smoke wearing off now also, and it looks like Roshan is going to be left to his own devices.
I like what they're trying to do. They're trying to play a little bit of a mind game there, but
Blink Axe is up and online with a lifestealer inside of him. This might be the play though. If they can turn this back around, they also
poor Lion.
They do have Chaotic Offering as well. All right, there's a lot of pings. They realize that they're over here, and now they're stuck, though. TNC, Ogre going to be the first one out. Sam H can go for the shadow play. They are going to be able to get him. Finger of Death, a Meteor and a Miracle. He drops. They dropped the Golem as well, but it's only going to be Sam H going down, and Ursa is on the back line, takes down that Venomancer before a whole heck of a lot was even cast.
They're going to get the Golem for free, too.
Oh, and Raging Potato in some trouble. Earth Spike on to 2 in the middle of the call. Oh, man, that's really bad, and they aren't going to be able to break his TP. but still 3 dead for only the price of that Slardar.
Oh yeah,
And that's Roche.
worth, and that is easy Roche, and that's a really well played fight by TNC. I actually think the Ogre's movement was really big in that fight. They knew where they were, smoked. The Ogre immediately turned and said, okay, they're smoked, they are going to initiate onto somebody, let it be on me. And it was the Ogre and the Slardar that tried to take the brunt of the initiation so that the rest of their team could get their abilities off, Sniper could continue right-clicking. It's just good team coordination in that fight.
Absolutely. An Assassinate thrown out here as well, but now they actually do have some wards that they can drop into the Roshan pit. There's the call! Ursa did get the Aegis though, and now Raging Potato, he wants to go into this. He's nowhere near his buddy, and now
That's
also chasing down the Venomancer. He might drop as well, as they've got the vision on him. Far away Sniper, he doesn't have another Assassinate.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Well,
It's just good patience by TNC.
look at the net worth. Sniper is a monster already. Look at this, 5,000 lead for him. How do you respond now if you're Mineski? Is there any like movement that you can make, do you think, or do you need to wait for an item timing?
Well, Lyrical, I would say that you respond by not going Vanguard first. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know, you really do. You just need to get that big blink call infest combo off with the Rock and Nova behind. It's just as simple as that. You know, you need to make that wombo combo work, and it's getting really dicey for you now because the OD is just so far behind. He's in the bottom half of the net worth charts, and you look at the lead that Sniper has over him. That's OD is not a. He's a horrible catch-up score.
Well, they might be able to take down this Ursa. There's the dunk. That's the Aegis at the very least, but
That's fine.
gonna run the heck away from there, lest things get worse. All right. Well, OD, you mentioned a rough catch-up core. He does get stuff done without a ton of items.
By the way, I just want to make this point too. Look at the itemization. Yeah. Ursa goes Morbid Mask, now completes his Vlads, but he had his Blink Dagger early on. So again, it's multiple initiation vehicles.
Ooh, sorry I missed that kill, everybody, but Slardar takes down the Veno. Quick and easy.
Exactly what we were talking about anyway, right?
Yeah.
We win, sure. Yeah, let's go with that.
I mean, and it really is it's a pretty huge, substantial lead between these top cores. Like Sniper at 8,500 gold, Lifestealer at 6,000. He has a Sanjin Yashav now. I think he actually has significantly more HP than the Lifestealer does. That is rough. And actually more armor as well. Man, this is a tanky little dwarf. He hits really hard.
He hits really hard, and it's just so important when you have these glass cannon type of heroes to have a team that has the initiation advantage, to have multiple ways to start a fight, multiple ways to create space around the Sniper in the fight so he can stand there and do what he does best, right click.
All right, well, actually, excuse me, the armlet wasn't on at that point, so Sniper is not as tanky as the Lifestealer, but it's close enough. It's getting there.
That's fine.
I mean, the itemization, you've got yourself a Dragon Lance, you've got the Sanjin Yasha now, on top of the raindrops also. I don't know if they can even, like, normally the idea is to focus the Sniper, but I feel like at a certain point you kind of need to, like, take out the Lion at this point or something.
It's not even so much about focusing one hero right now. It's just getting that big AoE initiation off, and then having good target prioritization decisions behind that big initiation. But you're not going to get back in this game as Mineski without this big wombo combo fight. You have a lineup that's built for that. It's very hard to execute when you only have really one good way to start a fight.
Yeah, and also it's worth noting now that, you know, you go back for the Hand of Midas on the Warlock. This feels like a good decision, but it also sort of signals that this is maybe for Mineski a game that you need to take to that late game scenario.
Yeah, I actually hate that decision. I think at this point that I understand what you're saying. There is some value in it, but I think you've got to build for utility on the Warlock right now.
Well,
like you need a Force Staff. You need tools to get yourselves in better positions in these fights, to get in on the Sniper, to get heroes that are low out.
Oh, it's tough too. I mean, because it also does feel like if eventually TNC are just going to go for like this group up and take a lane.
I mean, that's now. Style. They're not gonna. You know, you're not gonna. You might not finish your Midas as Warlock.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see how this ends up going, as Lion is going to go for the wraparound, places a ward deep, does spot out that axe, moving over in that direction, and that should signal to them that they could go for an initiation, and playing it very safe. Cook on the exact opposite side of the tower.
Man.
Well, he finished his Midas, so there's that. Jewel has a Midas. You don't seem impressed.
Well, I'm just looking at the amount of work that this is. What I love about Ursa. He's got Blink and Vlad, and he's still scary as hell.
Oh, definitely. And Lifestealer now has been able to build into a Desolator, so you got a good bit of damage out of him, but it fits back in again to that Wombo combo and then clean up after the fact. Blink Dagger now done on the Lion. Counter initiation is real.
Oh my god, you have, this is the nightmare though. You have 3 blinks on TNC.
Yeah.
Like, what is Mineski supposed to do? You're past the point where you need this one big AoE Wombo combo now.
This was a nice little play though, and I do like the Venomancer placing out the wards, scouting out a little bit of extra vision without putting himself in danger. It does help. Like, there's the ways that they have to hold the game out for longer pieces. It just, I guess, does also come down to if TNC are going to allow that to happen.
No, I mean, there's really no reason that they should. They have so many options right now. I would be very disappointed to see them stopping. Oh,
Ursa's going to end up popping.
That's a mistake. I understand that you know, they're kind of resetting there. They're going to go back, try and get a little bit of efficiency going by farming multiple lanes at once. But I feel like they could have just balled up and just go to the next lane.
Oh. Well, it does look like they're even considering doing that again, as well, Sam H is going to be moving over this direction. 3 heroes in the area, waiting for somebody to farm it. Miracle is here as well with the Force Staff. If they go onto one of these guys, they might be biting off more than they can chew. Although we do also have Axe, and Ellie spots out Cass, looking for the jump.
They know!
Raging Potato in some trouble. They turn, and there's the Astral to save his buddy. Oh, and Sniper on top of him now. Raging Potato taking some damage. He is going to try and Armlet toggle his way out of here. You know, Miracle running out, and Lion. All right, they don't have OD for this fight. He actually cancels his TP. It looks like they realize they have to take this. That's going to be a dead Warlock, and now you might just lose your OD because of it.
Oh, and they're not giving up on this either.
Oh man, they don't have the OD for this fight. This is going to be rough.
Yeah, the combination of the Astral and the Armlet toggle was really nice there. He had Rage off cooldown as well, so the Lifestealer is able to save himself. Miracle praying. Stay in the trees.
Yeah. I mean, he has to wait until it's off cooldown. God, that really hurts. And again, it feels like little bits of miscommunication. Like, you go in, you want to try and you realize that you want to try and find a pickoff. Great. And then afterwards, you move in, you realize that you're not going to be able to take the fight. You back out, say everybody escape, and then he TPs away. But then somebody makes the call. Well, they've caught one of us. Maybe we should go back and try and save him. He cancels his TP, and now he's stuck down here for a little while.
But seriously, though, the number one, the only important thing about that is the Lifestealer living. Because he's your only farmed hero on Dire. He actually does have some pretty decent damage potential now with the Deso Armlet Sange completed. He gives you a chance. And it may be, you know, Jim Carrey and Dumb and Dumber saying, yeah. So you're saying there's a chance, but it is a chance.
Oh no, and you know what? They're going to jump. Well, do they think that the Slardar is real? They ping out that one is moving away. The problem was that they actually scanned this area and it came up real. All right, now they realize that's not a real one. Okay.
Yep.
Oh, now jump could come. They found one. Teehee gets the counterplay in the midst of 3. They do throw out the Venom ulti. Not sure if it's going to be enough. Actually, the Ursa is already dropping really low. Teehee might end up going down himself. Axe is already gone. Gem on the ground. And now with Cass, the only one left alive in the area outside of that Sniper, Mineski, he's actually trying to block him out. Can they slow this guy down? The Assassinate's going to come, and that might be enough to kill off the Veno. He is going to drop to the Ignite. Cast is gone. So they lose 4 in exchange for 3. But Sniper lives, and so does Lifestealer.
Axe did what he needed to do in that fight, and that was just a little bit of mistakes in positioning in TNC, letting Axe get off the multi-hero call and creating just enough time for Lifestealer to do damage in that fight. And now, again, you know, Lifestealer now all of a sudden, you know, has a way to deal with that Ursa, who doesn't really want to build a BKB at this point.
Right. No, it's looking better. Mineski are pulling themselves back into this one.
Oh my, and Ursa buys a 4-staff. This is all, I like the way TNC is approaching this in mobility, but Lifestealer is now doing enough damage that they're going to need to respect that.
All right, this is a game with an Ursa 4-staff. Just let's let that sink in for a moment, and then we can go on with the rest of our life.
Look, it's a game with an Ursa 4-staff, but it makes sense.
It does, but like now the problem is that you're gonna like go play a game of Dota and everybody's gonna be buying 4-staffs, or maybe
well, okay, yeah, that's true.
I don't know if it's gonna end up being enough.
We saw Cliff Jumbling Timber Saw
See,
earlier.
here's the thing, though.
pub seat is over.
But I do wonder if like maybe Ags might have been a better option, because if you, I don't know, I don't want to try and critique his item choices anymore. I want to see what the 4-staff does, and in which instance. Where do you feel like this is going to be best?
Ags is kind of, I don't know. Ags is a little bit awkward just because of the imprison.
All right, well, we do have another counter gank that's going to be coming this direction. We'll see if Ursa can escape. It looks like they are not going to find him, and he does get the hell out of there. Well, Axe. Another big call could be coming. They're kind of grouped up.
Yeah, they are. This is the thing.
Nope. They're going to head back the other direction. They ping out a little bit too late, so not realizing where TNC was, and instead they're going to have to head over and, well, maybe decide to take Roshan.
But do you see the difference now? That with the one big team fight win, all of a sudden TNC have to really respect Mineski's big AoE initiation wombo combo potential.
That's the second smoke now.
The tenor of this game has changed a lot with that one fight.
Is Cuckoo going to break the second smoke that just got used? He's going to scout out Roche. They're looking. They want to take this guy. But it looks like they are not going to be able to find him as of yet. Spot D. They'll realize where he is, and they should just blow him up.
That's just really greedy to be going for that D ward there.
Well, Axe misses the call, but that's fine.
That's fine, but that could quite easily be a Roche right now, and that's a really big, turns it into a really big misplay by TNC.
Cuckoo, level 15.
Boy, all of a sudden, Mineski's
over there
in the thick of it.
Yeah, it is an issue. And man, the ward vision that they're getting by virtue of this Venomancer as well is really great. Assassinates could keep coming out. We'll see if Sniper does decide to continue to spam those. But TNC, very clear with their movement around the map. They don't really care about, or at least they can't stop Mineski from getting Roshan. Well, there we are.
Yeah, I liked this concept by TNC of the max mobility, multiple ways to get yourself into fights, but the fact is when you go those builds and you lose a fight and or you make positioning mistakes and you give up a pick, all of a sudden those mobility items, you're not getting value out of them like you should.
Right. Oh, and now Sniper, well, he spotted out the axe, but a little bit
what's that
too
really
little
going
too
to
late.
do? Yeah.
Well, again, the game has slowed down somewhat. We are currently at that 30-minute mark, and neither team has really pulled away from the other.
This is really dead even at this point. I thought TNT was going to press the attack a little bit more, get a little bit more value out of the max mobility builds, but as the game goes on, there certainly comes a point where Mineski will pull ahead, having itemized more traditionally for damage.
Not only that, but also more traditionally for Midas.
Yep, I mean,
pretty good for
true.
Jules.
You're letting you're letting that Warlock Midas pay for itself.
Yeah,
that's absolutely right.
Oh, and he's even taking the small creeps now. Wants to get the most out of that gold. Give the rest of it over to a Raging Potato. So yeah, good stuff. I feel like definitely the pace of this game slowing down has favored Mineski
big time,
exceptionally. And TNC, the onus is on them. The problem is that it's really hard to fight into this lineup right now, and
that's the problem.
Aegis.
Is that you lose one fight, and all of a sudden you start playing a little bit scared. You make a mistake, they take the Roche, and the game's dead even again.
Well, need to find a pick. Mineski aren't giving it to him, as Manta gets illusion runes, and it looks like Mineski are ready to start moving down the mid lane. And
they're playing 5-man Dota, which is exactly what their lineup demands they do. Now the Venomancer is doing a good job. He's been kind of out in front, but he's been using those wards to protect himself.
Cass in some trouble, turned upon and going to get chopped down. Tier 2 tower in their sights, and it's dropping very quickly.
I think Mineski is looking awfully good. They've weathered the storm. This is it's a good trade-off by TNC to be able to get this top lane pushed in. They're gonna try and force Mineski back to their own tier 3 top.
Well, on the same token, yep. Mineski is going to be pulled back this direction, and looks like they're going to try and keep the pressure on right now for the Venomancer, but cannot really chase super effectively. Even Sam H is a little bit afraid to head off this direction, and they are going to be able to TP out on the Venomancer.
Still got 2 minutes left on that Aegis.
Are they really going to go back in here?
That would be awfully optimistic. When your Warlock with Rock up and your Veno with Poison Nova up are nowhere near.
All right, they're looking for a pickoff, and Teehee is in the area. Might just give it to him. This is actually a really heads-up play from Mineski. They realize that people are going to be over there. And yeah, they back. Well, oh man, jump forward. The counterplay is there. Sam H on top of him, but they haven't been able to find one kill. It looks like Teehee is going to drop as well and trying to escape. Sam H is going down. Suddenly, Mineski looking very strong and ready to take high ground, maybe.
The wheels are coming off for TNC here.
Uh-oh.
Not much more to be said.
It is definitely feeling very rough, but Mineski likewise feeling very confident in themselves to the tune of a 2,500 net worth swing, right around 6,000 gold into their favor, and the tier 3 tower is going to go down. Mineski looking good. And jump forward, call, Astral. A little bit of a misplay, that's fine. Cuckoo. Alright, they're gonna not go for it. They drop the rock onto 2 now. Taps and a ton of fatal bonds damage being dealt. Can they find that kill? Looks like he might just drop in the midst of that. That assassinate comes out. And weird. Another counter play. They do a finger of death, turn it on the axe, it's gonna walk away. Really low HP, but in the end, Ursa gets his and won't be able to find the kill into Jules, so it's very low.
Ursa, you need a basher so badly, but you're going BKB.
And now they're going to be able to turn onto the golem. Needed one more hit, maybe 2 for the melee, but doesn't find it. They focus down the catapults and, well, it's just a tier 3 tower.
Okay.
They might have wanted to focus the barracks.
You would maybe think. That was a very, very strange sequence there inside the Radiant base.
And a huge gold swing as well. A lot of it going back to Cuckoo. He has 3,500 gold in the bank, and now they've found Jules, but they can't actually find that kill.
No.
Gold and sweet.
Long time before Roche.
What are you doing in the Roche pit, buddy? Yeah.
You want to pick up TP.
Oh, all right.
Value. I don't know if he did pick that up or if he had it on him already. Shadowblade Slardar late game. Is there anything that's really sticking out to you as far as like big itemization or movement around the map? Okay.
All of a sudden, Ogre, Lion, the Slardar Crush, that much less scary.
Yeah.
And if you look at the formations in which Mineski been fighting, they've been balling up 5-man Dota, and all of a sudden, if your cores don't have to worry about those spells, don't have to worry about those multiple initiation vehicles from TNC.
Also worth noting, Jules only 900 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter. We have that Shadowblade turned to Silver Edge for the Sniper for initiation, and that damage reduction, always very relevant. But it looks like for now, both teams just comfortable sitting back and not wanting to overextend into the enemy jungle.
Yeah, the next Roche cycle really does become super huge in this game. I feel like TNC cannot let Mineski have this next Roche.
Yeah, it would definitely be a problem.
I do think that with an Aegis, Mineski can do a lot of damage to the Radiant base.
The wraparound is going to happen. They call it out, and this might catch Mineski a little bit unawares. If they're able to find this,
up here, though.
And they just are getting Chaotic Offering off of cooldown as well.
Well, they know where he is. They know where he is.
The pings, Axe is there. They jump onto him. Oh, pump fake, they throw it now onto Teehee, blocking their way out. Lion is actually trapped there. He is going to drop it. That also means Sam H is trapped. They get the Venno ulti off. Is it going to be enough damage? Venno's gone. Cass is going to drop as well. And now the Ursa left alone. He doesn't force that far enough. And they've also found another. So just like that, TNC going to get pulled apart. And, well, Shadow Blade away. Can they find it? Call it again! Oh, that's a got like oh my god. Too much damage. Too much gold. Oh lordy, that was a good call.
The bus. This one's getting close to over.
That was such a great call. Oh my god.
It really was, and it looked like the story of the last couple of fights was going to be repeated. That Sniper's doing his job. He's doing a lot of damage. He's getting his items up, but the rest of his team is not surviving. And of course, that time they were actually able to chase down the Sniper. But the story's still the same.
Yeah. And OD now, Blink. BKB still on cooldown, but the Hurricane Pike, they're ready to start taking these downs. AC also almost done for the Life Steal, and I feel like this time around they are probably going to be able to get those barracks. Although Crush onto 2, call counter initiation, they get the Hex on a Raging Potato, almost bringing him down. They do find the kill, and also the Slardar, so a little bit of a tip for tat.
Sniper though.
All right, this is a little bit odd, and well, Astral's going to keep his buddy alive. They don't have really that much.
Keeps them alive.
They have Upheaval being used as well, trying to slow them, and they're on top of that. Well, they don't end up finding the kill on the Earth with the Earth.
That's actually, I'm not sure about these imprisons.
Everything looking a little bit suspect. And just like that, again.
It's 3-on-3 though.
Yeah. Buyback status, you do have it for the axe.
Well, the big thing is that the Sniper doesn't have it, and is not going to have it for another almost 7 minutes.
Right. Oh, looks like Ursa. BKB pop. They have the ability to kite him out. They are not actually hitting any of these heroes. Ghost Scepter as well. BKB pop. And now take the Invis Rune as well. Oh my god, Ursa just wants to hug somebody, and well, they get the Venom ulti off onto Cast. But it looks like they are not going to get any hugs this time. Although, never mind, Jules. Why?
Yeah, that's yeah.
I'm not. I feel like there was something I missed there because he headed
same
down.
thought, buddy. They get a little bit unlucky with the roast timing, but hopefully they will check it in another 30 seconds or so. Okay. Still a game.
Yeah. They pulled it back. TNC looking a little bit stronger.
I really did think TNC were falling apart a little bit. Some of the decision making looked a little bit suspect, but that the couple OD Astros a little bit unfortunate in that last fight. I feel like he certainly didn't do Axe any favors, imprisoning him in the mid lane trees.
Right. Well, and one other thing to keep in mind, that last fight was not only without Warlock ulti, but it would have been the first Warlock ulti with Aghanims also.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Which, if he keeps on getting this gold, it feels like you're holding on right now for TNC, but holding on for what? They have to make a move.
I mean, again, one thing that you always have to look at in these games is, what does each team get out of winning a fight?
Right.
And when you look at the Warlock, Aghanims, all the pushing power on Mineski right now, if they win a fight, they do serious damage to the TNC base. It's not clear that TNC win a fight. They have the same kind of damage potential in terms of taking control of the dire side of the map. Roche is going to be up in this next fight. This is absolutely key.
Yeah, this is the big one.
Yep.
One for all the marbles or cojones or whatever it is. I don't even know exactly what the metaphor is, but it's important. That's what we're trying to say here. 40 minutes into it, and the vision advantage, they don't have much on TNC, maybe a little bit outside the Roche pit, and kind of a similar story for Mineski. So
no. Mineski has the ward where they absolutely have to have it, and that's they're going to have a vision advantage over the Roche
they
pit
do have this one as well.
Yeah, if the fight takes place anytime soon.
And also, they do have the Venomancer Plague Wards as well, breaking Blink Daggers, which is always a problem at these late stages of the game.
And you can kind of see the vision disadvantage in the way that TNC is setting up. They're kind of milling about on the Radiant jungle steps. They can't really get into position to threaten Roche all that effectively.
No. Well, and I think that if you win a fight like this, they kind of have to go for some type of a smoke play or something, because they can't just walk into Mineski, obviously.
Oh, no.
It almost feels like they need to, be there for the counter initiation, but even that's going to be tough because Warlock has the rocks to drop.
And, oh boy, if they let this go for free, and they're going to. It's too late. They can't contest.
Well, they're in a bit of a scary spot. Ursa, they're not there. Oh man, that really hurts. I guess though that at the end of the day, they really don't have the lineup to contest Roshan that well. Like, you kind of can drop down the shells with the sniper, but I don't know.
At some point though, that while what you just said is true, they're also facing a lineup that giving up Aegis and Cheese to is very problematic.
Yeah,
I think you have to make some effort to contest there.
The tough part too, though, is that like, this is my thought with it at least. If you lose the Aegis there, you have to fight them without, like, you have to like try and pull them out of position and take it on one by one.
Like, what are you? The question you have to: what are you playing for at this point for TNC? Like, single core sniper is not going to carry you. You have an Ursa that's built, you know, for mobility and defense with the BKB.
Look at this guy. He doesn't care.
Why not? Why not, man? I'm an infested axe, dude. Come get some.
That's great.
You know, what are your 3 blink daggers gonna do for you now?
Oh man. Well, they are pushing along the top lane, hoping to get something out of this, and you can see the ideas, but Mineski getting set up, and a whole heck of a lot of team fight ready to go. Okay. Hex, they also broke the Silver Edge onto Raging Potato, but it's just going to come at the cost of a little bit of vision, taking Venomancer slightly low, and I imagine they back out at this point.
Yeah, this is just really, it's been great patience by Mineski, because really, after they were able to be patient and take that one big fight nearby between the Dire Tier 1 and Tier 2, they, apart from a kind of questionable Imprison in the Radiant mid lane, they haven't really given up a pick.
Yeah.
And TNC has been giving up support picks all over the place.
Mineski have looked a lot better than I expected them to, and that's also, I think that TNC are probably better than people are giving them credit for. This game, it hasn't looked terrible for them by any means. It's been very back and forth, and both teams are playing at a higher level than I expected. Well, I expected TNC to be at about this level. I didn't expect Mineski to be here.
Oh, I thought for a while with the number of these teams, but particularly when you just look at the names on this Mineski roster and realize that if you have good coordination, good team play, you're going to win some games with these 5 players. That's I just as a lot of times with SEA teams, I question the patience, I question the consistency, but that's been there for Mineski.
Well, and I think that they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. You think back to, you know, being consistently known as the best team in Southeast Asia, and that really has not proved to be the point through the past 2-3 majors.
Look at Axe, just like he's just going wherever he wants on the map right now with lifesteal on the side of him.
Oh, and playing it safe, wanting to make sure that they come out of this. Best of ones, anything can happen, and you want to make sure that you ensure them if you do have that advantage, which they definitely do. 7,500. I would say that I would like to see them do something with the Aegis. Like, they kind of need to make that happen. I mean, they gotta do something. You can't just like sit on an Aegis.
But look at how they scale. Like, you've still got Refresher to come up on Warlock. You know, neither Lifestealer nor OD are 6 slotted yet. Like, you've got plenty of room to grow.
You don't need to
as Mineski. Whereas TNC, they've got Sniper is full or going to be there soon, and Ursa, because of his build.
Oh, well, they found Sniper, and that is a pretty huge.
Oh!
All right, run away, little man. They're going to be able to get away from him, and now turned upon. Raging Potato controlled. He's going to go down. Okay, and the rest of the team is away from him.
Yeah.
Quick crush.
They're letting him go. They're letting him go. It's probably the right call.
Yeah, that is. And, well, he is going to turn upon them and slowed down, controlled, and killed. Top lane still pushed in, though.
Yeah, that's a long respawn time.
Not sure what Axe is going to do here, but Sam H, well, they actually do get it. good bit of damage. Samage gonna drop low, but not dead. They don't get the ulti onto him, and Astral last second.
Nice,
Counterplay
Astral.
there as well. Teehee dropping low, cast also turned upon. Can they find it? They're fire blasting the Ogre. They're still running away now, and with the BKB out from Ursa, I think that that's gonna be the end of it. The Golems aren't gonna really do all that much here. They have to turn on the barracks.
I don't know. I get what they were thinking, but it's still, by the numbers, it's a weird play by Mineski to commit the Warlock ult with Lifestealer already down, and now you're just going to give up those 2 golems. I don't know. I get what they're trying to do. I really do, but I still think you play it. You make the simple play there.
I don't.
You're not. I really do. I look at this game, and I don't think Mineski are the ones that are under pressure to do anything right now. Yes, the Aegis advantage is fine, but especially once after the Lifestealer dies, you're like, our Warlock's gonna have Ags Refresher soon, dude. We're fine. Well, our Veno can still get Ags. Like,
that's the question to me, though, is like, if you do go for a play, you have to do it with your whole team. But it does feel like if you are going to get Aegis, I think you do at least want to take a fight with that advantage.
Oh sure, but it's not nearly when you look at yourself and you say, we have the scaling advantage. We, in the next 10 minutes of this game, the items coming up for us are going to be bigger than the other team. You don't have to.
Right.
Obviously you want to make use of that asset, but it's not. You avoid putting yourself in an unfavorable situation.
Well, top lane going to be pressured in now by the Warlock. He is getting ever closer to that refresher. Still a little ways away, but with the Midas, he's scaling very well. And it does look like also, BKB charge is something to worth keeping our eyes on, as Axe is setting up on people here, but they have ward in the area. So, needs to be careful. Now Ursa's just hanging out in the trees.
I do have to say, especially because I commented on it in the one fight, apart from the one mid-fight, the imprisons this game from OD have really been on point. Like, I feel like Miracle has done a very good job with those on balance in most of the engagements.
Look at this guy. He is just a creeper in the jungle. That is scary. What a guy. Alright, well, they're going to move out now. Smoke in towards the Radiant side of the map. And
it looks like there may have been a little indecision there from Mineski. They're kind of semi-rune bait here. And then that's not a bad idea. They knew TNC were in that part of the map.
Another big issue is that they're just lost so much of their map control. Like, look at the vision right now of Mineski. They don't have much. And
this is really the first time I've been able to point to in this match that Mineski has not had a vision advantage.
Oh god, they actually have eyes on him. And a smoke moving out right now from TNC. This could be huge if they're able to find him, and if they get the jump onto one of these heroes right off the bat.
I think they see it coming.
They have Katic offering, jump forward, crush onto 2. A lot of damage being dealt, but they get the rock turnaround. Not sure if it's going to be enough. They are going to be able to kill off the OD right at the start, so that's a huge amount of Mineski's damage gone. Nice force staff to the low ground, but I don't think that that's going to end up being enough either. The does finally get dropped by the Golem, but 2 for 2 exchange. The buyback from the Slardar, looking for another fight here as Cuckoo is going to be able to turn around onto this, but Axe back in the fray, trying to bring him low. Can he do it? Yes, he will. Double dunk. Get out of here. Mineski, takedown 4, and God, it looks like, are they really going to back out again? Oh my goodness. They might. I don't know.
That'd be a little, well, okay.
They don't feel confident. It's a lot of gold into the coffers too, so maybe you just re-go again afterwards.
Guys, they've got Ogre up. We can't push their base.
Are they getting the gem back? Or has yeah, they picked up the gem. Radiant gave that one away and then sent out the courier. A little unfortunate there, but a nice win for Mineski picking up the gem. And Mineski further ahead.
Yeah, and I do think that falling bank though is exemplary of the mentality that I was referring to, that they don't fail. Look at Lifestealer is going to go ahead and pick himself up and work it as his 6th slot.
Oh, it's time to party. Let's do it, Bloodthorn Gaming. It's the new rage. The silence and sensation that's sweeping the nation. With Lifestealer, Axe Bomb in tow. It's a problem. I don't think that any of these guys really have... I mean, I guess you have BKB on Ursa.
Nah. I mean, you're down to 6 seconds already on that. Yeah, he's gonna finish off as Abyssal, which is great. But then you look at the Mineski side, and there's nobody that they're really that scared of them initiating on, like you'd be TNC scared of somebody initiating on Sniper.
Well, Aegis now up and online for OD, and Mineski feeling very strong after that early rough patch going through it. They have now been able to build a 10,000 net worth
there
blade.
is the only item that matters right now.
Oh, it's a good one.
Yeah, that Midas has, boy, I was doubting it, but that Midas has paid for itself several times over at this point.
I mean, you look at the tier 3s, and it looked like they were about to get assaulted. The top one even took a bit of damage early on, but it does feel like Mineski, they have that Venomancer kind of in their back pocket to hold these towers, and it's done a good job of making sure that they didn't just outright lose, which allows the the Warlock to play more greedy. So, I mean, good on the Veno.
The Veno's been okay. I still think it's more a matter of Mineski having a really good concept of game flow and understanding that they had to wait for their time to pick the one big turnaround fight, and then they could start to make TNC feel pressure on the map. They've just understood their win conditions a little better.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Axe pick up a refresher. It's been a while since we've had that happen.
What? Okay.
Double call.
You really want to see your co-caster have an aneurysm. That's what you're rooting for here. It's probably what chat's rooting for. All right, we'll give the people what they want.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, it really the dream item is the Aghanim Scepter. Just dunk people from full HP, pretty much.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, that's good stuff. But it looks like instead playing an ever cautious route.
Or he could just, be smart and well, I guess BKB is not that great.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they have a really good window here where even with the items he's keeping, it's going to be fine. So he can build into his next one depending upon what TNC takes.
Okay, so now watch how fast Sniper dies when Axe jumps him, Lifestealer, Infest Bomb, Bloodthorns, and hits him twice. I
mean, they got to get into range. Sniper hits from pretty far away, I've heard. And
I've heard that.
Looks like they aren't. I mean, they do have like triple force staff into jump call, and there's the jump on the cast, pulling it back in. The Warlock ulti, first one dropped. They might be able to bait them into thinking there isn't a second and jump forward. Teehee finds the catch, and looks like they're going to turn onto these Warlock golems.
Wow, all right.
They burned through them. And didn't use refresher. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Raging Potato is there. They get the counterplay. Mineski taking a lot of damage. They throw out the second Warlock ulti. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, though. As BKB popped and Teehee. All right, yeah, that cheese actually destroyed them. Now you buy back on the axe. He's going to come back into the fray, but Miracle on top of everybody. Cuckoo's starting to drop. They throw out the Saves Eclipse. Can they kill off Cass? Doesn't look like they're going to be able to. And the jump forward blink. Well, Rior chasing down as well. They stun up Miracle. He's in some trouble. Triple kill for him. Aegis going to come back in a second, as already the Venomancer alive on 26 HP will finally fall. And it looks like a Self-Astral in a little bit of trouble, as he is going to force Sap away, and yeah, he ends up falling to the Sniper. So suddenly, Mineski, they do take down 2 lanes of barracks, but they lost a good bit of heroes forward and max buyback.
I am unreasonably amused by the Lion, like, blinking in to right-click kill the Venomancer, because why not?
Yeah.
I don't know why that amused me so much. I mean, the gems on the ground.
Oh my god, look at the gold swing.
Yep.
It's 4 heroes buying back. That's the big concern there as well.
Exactly. That's the problem, is that as Mineski, you won that fight. Period.
Well, and he talked about it.
TNC just don't have the kind of lineup that their lineup is not designed to fight at a deficit like this. Oh, yeah, bae.
Missing their window, always a rough one, and I mean, the second round up here is they go for the last lane of barracks. I mean, you think that they need to wait until Roshan comes back up, or you think Mineski are fairly comfortable even just trying to go down a lane at this point?
I think they can probably end the game. I mean, obviously not now.
See you later, Warlock.
But yeah, I think Mineski has to be watching a couple of the other games that we've seen earlier tonight and maybe thinking to himself, let's just not make the big mistake.
Abyssal Blade, Recipe, What is this courier going to go get? And can he actually even find it? The Venom Ward is up on the high ground. If they send the courier in at kind of unfortunate time, they're not going to send it in yet.
No.
Yeah, they got to be careful with that one. Well, like we were talking about, 25,000 gold lead and right around 15,000 experience.
And we might cross the hour mark here. Well, that was interesting.
Do they realize where it is? He wants to send it to the side shop.
Like,
I guess he wants to get the Vit booster. A very awkward moment.
Vit booster?
Yeah, to finish off the Abyssal Blade. I'm assuming. Is that way you can get the Vanguard?
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't have the gold for it yet, though.
Oh, I didn't see it was already on the courier. Got it.
But nonetheless, you still have the problem of Axe going insane. Shiva's Guard is what he decided to go for.
Yeah, there it is.
With the Lifestealer inside. Yeah, and they have Abyssal on Ursa, so there are ways for them to take these fights and burst an individual target. I kind of feel like they have to find that Warlock, though, and he's just been able to do what he wants in the early instances of these fights, and TNC need to get the jump. It's rough, though. It's hard.
I feel like we've reached the point where Mineski has to make a mistake.
Yeah.
TNC.
It's going to be a hard one. He got Refresher OD.
Yeah.
Double Hex. Double Sandy's Eclipse. Why not?
Oh, I mean, double Hex, double BKB.
Oh.
Yeah, why not?
Bottom lane, pressuring in. You've got a heck of a lot of creeps that are moving in through here. And, you know, it might even just be worth it going for tier 4s. Who needs to siege? If they find a pick, the game is basically over. You don't have buyback on 4 different heroes. And honestly, I mean, do they actually have it on anybody? They don't have buyback on anybody. And guess what? That's going to end up being a dead Ursa. Cats dropping as well. It was a very valiant effort, but 100 seconds with no Ursa might just be the nail in the coffin. They do have Refresher back up and online for Warlock as well. They're going to use it now and probably drop the second Golem in just a little bit. Jump forward, crush. Oh, they broke the blink, and yeah, that's a problem. BKB pop for Cuckoo. They throw out another one. There's the catch, and Sandy's Eclipse dropped everything onto the head of TNC. It is a hard life indeed. They might kill off that Axe, but he eats the cheese, and GG gets called. Well, Ahaz, we have seen a couple of different games so far tonight. How are you feeling about Mineski as a team relative to the other matches that we've watched, the other teams that are here in the qualifiers? Do you think they have what it takes to get top 4, make it to the playoffs?
I think that there are 4 or 5 teams